Good afternoon, preppers. I hope everybody is doing okay, doing well today, and that everybody is doing their best to survive. Make sure they're not going hungry, make sure that they're not experiencing any food shortages at home, making sure that everybody is preparing and prepping as best you can to stockpile as much food, as much water, as much as possible that's going to be needed when shit hits the fan. Stockpile that money too. Make the money, keep the money, stack the money, make the money, make more money. And this isn't a financial channel. I wish it was, but this isn't a financial channel. But the point that has to be understood in probably most food shortage videos coming out from this point forward is going to tie closely to money. I got an article here I want to share with you. 20 groceries driving up your food bill the most. I'll link this in the description so you can check it out. This is from 247wallstreet.com, and it says here that there's been a great deal of economic good news for the average American in the past 2 years, particularly striking in the context of an ongoing pandemic. Unemployment is at its lowest rate since 1969, and wages are rising, with personal income up by 6.6% in 2020, up 7.4% last year. Still, overshadowing these positive figures are those tracking inflation. Now, inflation is not a new term on this channel, probably, or any other prepper channel you're watching, subscribe to. Speaking of which, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing now, smashing that like button. I really would appreciate it. But inflation is really the driving factor behind these extremely high food prices that we're seeing every single day in the stores. And it's not just like you see high prices, you see higher and higher and higher prices. Like, they were already high like a month ago, and then you go back and now they're even higher. And you know, it's just like commonplace now. It doesn't seem like it's ever going to stop. Just food prices continuously are being hit by hyperinflation, and the consumer price index is rising 8.5% from March 2021 to March 2022, and the CPI doesn't even include everything in it that would really constitute them calculating that figure. So CPI is actually higher than 8.5%. Even with a wide open job market and higher salaries, consumers are reminded every day of the toll that inflation is taking on the family budget. The message hits hardest at the gas pump, where gas prices have risen 48% in the past year. For people heating their homes with fuel oil, the impact has been even greater, with fuel prices rising 71%. And although food costs have more or less tracked wage increases, for many grocery products, prices feel exorbitant. Prices do feel exorbitant. They feel exorbitant because they are. And I am not in agreement here that food prices have tracked with wage increases. I do not agree with that. If you want to comment below and let me know if you feel differently, please do. But food has gone up considerably more in price, the percentage base increase, than people's salaries and wages have gone up. So I don't agree with that. To determine the 20 groceries driving up your food bill the most, 247 Wall Street reviewed data on the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Food and beverage products were ranked based on the percentage change in CPI, not seasonally adjusted. And let's see here. It says prices on this list increased in price over the past year from 12.5% to 18.3%. So let's just round that. So they're saying it went up 6%. You and I both know that that is not necessarily true. That is not the case. But we do need to take this information with a grain of salt, because the real underlying factor here, the message to be delivered and received, is that food is going to cost more. And the food costing more could potentially lead to your family's food shortage just for the fact that you can't afford it. The current discomfort at the supermarket comes after years of steady, predictable grocery bills. Rises in food prices fluctuated within a limited range between 2013 and 2020, with increases ranging from 1 to 3% in those years. They said actually in 2016 it went down by 0.1%, probably really not measurable, but they said it went down in 2016. And I had somebody comment on a video that they had a set budget, fixed income, $200 a week on groceries, or no, $200 a month. I think it was $200 a month. And they bought the same food all the time, every time. That's how it works. There was really no deviation there. Maybe the only deviation today is the fact that some of the foods that you used to buy regularly, that you knew the prices of, et cetera, aren't available due to supply chain constraints, forcing you to buy a different brand or different flavor, different size, which could have some relation to how or why you're spending more at the grocery store. But they said that this $200 budget for the same food increased to $350 for the same food, same time period, same food. So that is a much higher increase than 6%. I want to jump to the foods that they have on the list. They got a lot of fluff in here to get to the point. And I'm just going to run down the list. I'm not going to hit all of them. I'm just going to hit the ones that stand out to me. Number 20, butter. They said butter went up 12.5%. And these numbers increases are from March 21 to March 22. And it's saying butter went up 12.5%. An important one here is canned vegetables. That saw an increase of 12.5%. Lunch meat is up 12.5%. 17, milk up 12.8, almost 13%. Milk is up way more than 13%. Come on. Comment if you agree that milk is up more than 12.8%. I'm gonna round up to 13%. Comment if you agree, because milk, if you can even find the milk and the one you want, it's up. It's probably up more like 100%. I mean, I'm not even gonna say 50. Like, it's like doubled in price. Some cases maybe more than doubled from what I'm seeing. It says fresh and frozen chicken parts up 15.1%. Again, I don't agree with these numbers. I think it's up higher than 15.1%. It all depends on where you shop. Michelle pulled up one the other day. It was like $7 something a pound for some chicken breasts, where we used to pay $1.99, $2.99 a pound. It's $7 something a pound at Piggly Wiggly, I think. And I'm gonna jump to number one. The number one on the list is oranges and tangerines, 18.3% increase year over year based on this CPI index report. And you know, this is the CPI is not accurate. It's not correct. It is extremely understating how much more food costs. Now, we have to understand that just because this report came out doesn't mean that any of this is going to stop. These numbers are going to keep going up higher and higher and higher as we continuously have struggles with supply chain and resources from overseas. Obviously, there's a conflict, and it's disrupting a huge portion of our wheat and sunflower oil imports and other countries as well. So even if it doesn't directly affect us, it could affect another country that then creates a product that we would then ultimately receive. But if they can't get it, we can't get it. And these are they're just going to keep going up. And, you know, the Fed raised interest rates. So if, let's just say, suppliers, manufacturers, producers, transporters, grocery stores, whomever is operating on credit, every dollar that they borrow now costs more to repay because of the higher interest rates. They affect all banks. So if it costs them more to borrow to stock the shelves for us to buy, then they have to make that up. So it's going to cost the consumer more as well. So these are just things to consider and remember, and try not to ignore. And besides just trying to stockpile all you can, you got to make sure that you're doing all you can to be able to afford to do it down the road, whether it be changing jobs, getting a wage increase, taking on another job, an additional job, a side hustle, maybe even investing in crypto, stocks, real estate. Tough one to do, but you know, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but you do need to be considering ways that you can adjust and alter your income to at least match these price increases and this inflation, but more so to exceed the amount in which these are going up, so that you can stay ahead and not just keep up, but at the very least keep up, because you don't want to get left behind. So that's just what I wanted to bring you guys today. Hopefully you find this information helpful and useful as you are out shopping and preparing and stockpiling just in case. And I will be bringing you some more updates soon. Thanks for watching, and take care.